Thank you so much, Danielle, and the team here at TCS are very glad to be part of this with all of you. If you don't know about TCS, we are in Southern Ontario. We are a boarding and day school with grades 5 to 8, and we have been around for about 157 years and have a campus that kind of shows that, which you'll hear more about. I'm going to start off we're going to focus on energy and our work at the school on our energy systems, but I want to give you a bit more context because all the decisions we make at the school are rooted in our context. So I'm going to reference our campus, our curriculum, and our culture. And traditionally, I would say we would look at our campus as being our buildings. And you can see on the slide there, we have a wide range of buildings of different eras, materials, functionality, and so on. What we're learning now is there's a lot more to the system that our buildings are part of. And so I referenced some of those things. We're paying a lot more attention to the traditional uses of our lands with Mississauga and Haudenosaunee and Wendake and Anishinaabe nations who were using this land for hundreds of years and thousands of years before us. And we're privileged to be here as a result of the treaties, the most recent of which was the Williams Treaty in 23. Our land, the lay of our land and our ecosystems on the land affect our buildings and affect water movement on our campus and how our buildings function from an energy standpoint. We've got some really beautiful species. We've got an endangered species on our campus, our little chimney swifts. We've got a 300-year-old ash that we managed to save from emerald ash borer with inoculations. And we've been able to do a ton of tree planting over the last decade. And all of that kind of feeds into where we're going in the next decade in terms of looking at our energy use. I mean, we're piping in our natural gas from the prairies, as anybody in Ontario is doing. And so these are some of our other contexts in terms of our campus as we make decisions. I'd say our curriculum would probably be relatively similar to any of your schools. And you can see, we've got the liberal arts approach. We do an AP capstone program in our senior school. But over about the last decade and a half, we've been adding a lot of green elements to our curriculum. And you can see some of them listed there, trying to make green or sustainability programming and events and traditions run all year long. So it becomes part of the fabric of who we're doing or what we're doing and help us have what we would call a green culture. So as far as culture goes at TCS, if you know us or you know alum or you know staff, we are a very family-like community. Our headmaster, Stuart Granger, does sort of say TCS doesn't just stand for Trinity College School, it stands for tradition, community, and shared values. And that is always in the fabric of our decision-making. Our green culture is sort of driven by the idea that we are always trying to move from awareness to action. And a few years ago, we started bringing the MOGO lens, and you heard it mentioned earlier, not just doing less bad, but doing more good. And that has been a shift in our mindset at the school and how we make decisions. And thus, it's at the root of what I'm going to show you now in our energy case study. And you'll see the graphic here is a path of some of the energy projects or other projects that we've done at the school over, I'd say, the last sort of 5, 6, 7 years since our property director, Bill, arrived. And I've juxtaposed those with Bill Reed's regenerative practices slope or pathway so that you can see we have been on a journey, and a lot of the things that we've done there that are in red or orange or yellow, they're kind of what you might now consider conventional type actions that we've done, but they're necessary. And when you look at the one in yellow there, the green revolving fund, when we started doing a big retrofit on our lighting systems, moving as many of them as we could to LED, we went through a huge shift in how we were looking at that project, and it's launched us into a new way of thinking about our sustainability projects. A green revolving fund, and those of you who are interested, I can talk with you at another time about it. It basically saves the savings of an energy retrofit for a set period of time, so that you have that fund to then fund the next energy retrofit you're going to do. And so we've done that with our LED lights, and now have then benefited from the money to then move towards our solar photovoltaics and our solar hot water. Our MOGO mindset is helping drive us in this direction. And while I would say we're not using by any means like full regenerative practice, it is a direction that we're heading, and we use sort of a turn up the dial kind of approach. When we get a donation from an alum, we have a list, we have a plan of projects that we can feed that donation into. And you'll see a little note there called RISE campaign. Our Phil and Al department is just launching a big campaign that's RISE stands for Responsible Investment in Sustainable Energy. And our hope is to way drive up the amount of renewable energy that is powering our campus, to drive down our carbon footprint by dropping our natural gas use, and to plan for opportunity in the future. What it looks like when you take the projects we've done into this mega chart is there are a lot of criteria that we can look at towards moving ourselves towards more and more regenerative practices. And so those are down the left of this little chart, and our projects that our key projects we've done over the last little while go across the top. And when you look at the little check boxes, some of the absolutely essential projects that we've done aren't really using a lot of regenerative practices, but the further we've gone, the more and more of those regenerative criteria we've been able to meet. And our goal is to keep doing that until we have really changed how we do things and made our school into sort of a living lab for our students about climate action and in a restored and regenerated future. So what are we going to do next? We are, like I said, we're planning and fundraising to implement retrofits. Our property director, Bill, will always say the greenest building is the existing building. So we are not planning on building any new buildings at this time. We want to get back into the ones that exist and get back into our energy systems. We have in our strat plan right now a goal to, within 3 years, have a comprehensive sustainability curriculum. And as a result of sort of the paradigm shift I'm going through, I would say this isn't even a sustainability curriculum, it's a regeneration curriculum is what's coming next, and our working cap is going to help us create that. And as you take a look down the list of sort of what do we need to keep doing to change our culture and keep our culture going along that pathway, also take a look at that graphic I put in there. That's a graphic I made about 3 years ago. And I call it Sustainability Mountain. And we had come through a period of time where we had done a lot of little tweaks and some bigger projects to green the school. And we had won some awards, and we had been getting platinum level certifications with eco schools. But we realized there was still an incredibly long way to go. And we thought our future up sustainability mountain would be aiming for the green campus, the green curriculum, and the green culture. I think what we realize now is that those peaks are a bit different. And this is Regeneration Mountain. And we are aiming for a regenerated campus, curriculum for regeneration, and culture for regeneration. And we've got some work to do in balancing our change management and keeping to invest in our energy systems and really systematizing our approach and our lens. So that is the speed version of some of the work that TCS is doing. And I thank you for allowing us to share, and I'm always happy to talk with other schools.